If you know me, you know I'm not much of a truck guy. But this is another story. This is Excalibur, made by a gentleman named Sean Puz, and my goodness, just to look at it, it's pretty spectacular, right? More amazing, though, is that Sean built this himself. Everything. Aside from the mechanical bits like the internals of the motor themselves or the brakes themselves, Sean put all of this together. And I'm very honored that he spent some time with us at L'Automobile 2021 to give us a personal tour of this incredible monster. Enjoy. Obviously, this is a labor of love to the nth degree, right?
Yeah, it is. I've been into cars my whole life, and I actually kind of started. My dad was a circle track racer, racing dirt track, and the mud that would fly up off the track, I would mold little cars into.
No way.
When I was a tiny little kid, yeah, and actually sold some of them. Mother was like, oh, and I guess it kind of started from there.
Right.
Just making.
What a crazy thing, Sean.
That's the truth. I swear to God.
That's amazing.
I was a young kid, and so just went from there. And I feel very blessed by God that I have a talent that I can see what I want to build, because this is the only one in the world.
Yeah.
It's my design. It's my creation, and I feel so blessed that I can see what I want to build, but yet be able to. And it's not perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I keep trying to keep doing as good as I can. So it's kind of an evolution. So it did all start from there, and then growing up, like say a bicycle, I would change this or change that, and started to learn how to weld and make it different forks or frame. And then it, after a while, then got into a car. Would take a Camaro and change the body, change the suspension, and so it's just all kind of evolution. I did start young, which was nice, and then this is this stage. It's not the end result. I'm going to keep going.
Right.
But this is the result right now of that evolution of changing and not being satisfied with what's out there, but yet what I want to do.
Right. So you've done builds before this.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
Tell us a little bit about those.
I started with, a while ago, I did a Pro Street S10, and I cut the frame completely out and had a body, and I did a tubular frame, and I put my own engine in there. I built the engine and built my own suspension, used race car parts, and that kind of worked out good. So then it went from there. Then I started racing, went circle track racing, and which is fantastic, but the money is terrible.
You're right.
So it cost so much money. I said I just can't justify the time and the money. So then I went back to building cars. I built a rat rod. Rat rods are amazing to build. No rules. That's my ball game.
Total freedom.
Yeah, and that went good, but I like performance in them, And so then I actually built an engine for a rat rod, and it didn't. It was a big block Chevy, and it didn't fit in good enough.
Right.
So I took the engine out, and I put an LS engine in there. And I said, well, and honest to God, the precursor to this was a similar truck in bare metal. So I said, well, I'll just build a vehicle for the engine.
Yeah.
And that was the first one I built. This is the second. So it was all steel. It was my different frame was a box frame, all laser cut frame of my design. It lays flat on the ground. I built this cab. It was just a cab on a frame. And that thing was a monster. And
I love that it still brings a smile to your face. It's just a natural feeling you have about it.
It did, and driving it, because that's the only one in the world too. And driving it down the road, and that big block Chevy made so much horsepower at a engine builder up north, Dunk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was a circle track builder, and he said, "What do you want?" I said, two things. I said, I don't want to have to run racing fuel. I run premium all day long.
That's nice.
And I said, I don't want to be disappointed when I hit the throttle. And boy, he nailed it.
That's a tough blend too.
It is tough. Yeah, but the power, the big block has the power, and he knows how to make it with the right cam and heads and all. So that thing was phenomenal. And through evolution, I kind of didn't have to sell it, but it made it easier to do stuff like this.
Right. So this was a this has been wild from basically the moment go, right? You've dealt with ups and downs since you knew about the fact that you were going to do this. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it kind of, this one started, I did it's called International Radical Rod Build-Off Drive-Off. And about 3-4 years ago, my wife found a car. I don't know why she was looking on Craigslist. But she said, hey, there's this Packard on Craigslist. And I looked at it, and the guy wanted money for it. And I said, well, I called him up. I said, look, I'm not going to waste your time. I like the car, but what you want for it, you know, if you'll take less, I'll come and look at it. He said, come on by. So I did. I offered him a little bit less, and you know, it's not. I hate to be cheap, but it's just what it was worth to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, and it worked out. We made a deal, and I took it home. I entered in this competition, and you had, again, like this, you had 10 months to build a car. So I completely cut that Packard apart, you know, and did it, and it come out very well. I don't want to dwell on that.
Right.
So then that was all fine and dandy. We won the drive off, and everyone was like, well, you got to defend your title. Man, I don't want to do this again. You know, it's hard.
Yeah.
Physically, financially, time-wise. You
Yeah.
know? And they're like, well, you got to, you know. I said, all right.
Drains a lot of resources.
Yeah, so that's where this come about. I said, okay, well, what are you going to do? I said, well, you know, go big or go home.
Right.
You know, I got to top that. So all aluminum body, stainless steel chassis. How do you beat that?
Right.
Of my design. So that's where that started.
And this is all buffed, everybody. This is not.
It's not a wrap.
Yeah, it's not a wrap. It's nothing. No, this is hours of dedication just to make it look that good. Tell us about the actual fabrication process. You can walk us around stuff if you'd like to.
So this is the front, which you can't really see, and even the front. Like I made the spindles, the front axle, all the suspension. The frame is all stainless steel tubing. I bent the frame. This is literally handmade vehicle. So I bent all the frame. Then I made aluminum structure for the body, and then I skinned it with aluminum. So
wow.
We'll go back. I mean, you can't really see too much in the front. We'll go back. These are Harley Paintmaker headlights, insanely bright. 1-inch thick honeycomb in the grill.
Yeah, they are bright. He was behind me the other night in traffic.
Yeah. And those were the low beams. So the windshield right here, this is the biggest thing for this vehicle.
Yeah, it's wild.
I built the truck around the windshield. The windshield is the number one thing for this build. These are motorcycle turn signals, which are all LED, but they fit the look. You know, all the brackets and stuff. This is actually my door handle right here. So, you know, I didn't want to put a door handle on it, so I devised the system. Put it right there.
Too slick.
While we're at it, I got the wheels are Valco custom wheels. They're dirt track derivative wheel company up there, New Jersey, I believe. They're amazing. They did such an amazing job working with me. They're one-off wheels, only ones. Then inside, the interior is not done yet. We're going to do a different seat, but you can kind of see where it's kind of headed. I want to put some more copper in here. And the dash, everything's custom. So moving back, we got the stainless steel running boards. And then this is kind of where the business starts. So it is mid-engine. This is an LS3 GM engine right out of GM Performance. It's called the CT525 all aluminum engine. It's right about 540 horsepower. It is carbureted. You can buy, well, this engine is circle track engine, so it comes carbureted. But this type engine you can get either way. I'm old school. I like the carburetor.
Right.
We have an Optima battery under the thing. That's just an umbrella. I'm going to change that. But here we have the hydraulic system.
Which is intense, everybody. Go ahead, tell us about it. Look at this thing.
This ram pushes outward and cantilevers down on the coilover, which lifts the truck, and it's the same system in the front that you can't see. But the nice thing about this is, unlike airbags, the higher up you have it, the ride quality is exactly the same.
Yeah, so no matter what height.
With airbags, the higher up you have it, the stiffer ride. So yeah. I didn't want that. And this will raise the truck up 8 inches. So there's a good bit of travel there. And I wanted a little view for the engine there that you can kind of see in. And these sides actually come off. I could probably pull this side off in 5 minutes. so I can show the car with the sides on and off, which is really neat. Then
Totally
you can really
amazing.
see the framework and all that.
Totally amazing. How much power do you think it makes?
540 horse.
Oof.
Yep. And then and that's on pump gas. No ad. That's just
Right.
natural.
And it sounds like 3 times that, guys.
It has a nice healthy sound.
Yeah.
And then the big fenders, I did the bed sides, and again the wide. I'm into dirt track racing, so this is very similar to a dirt track setup.
Right.
On the wheels, and actually the rack and pinion is a dirt racing rack and pinion.
My goodness, Sean.
This rear end is a Franklin quick change rear end, probably the best in the business without a doubt. And those guys are amazing. These rear ends are built how you want them. You don't buy them off the shelf. They're like, okay, what are you doing? What do you got? And the axle length, the tubes, gears, everything. So that they're amazing. And the reason why also is the back cover back here. You pull this cover off, you catch the fluid, you swap the gear set out, you put the cover back on, fill it back up.
And you're going racing again.
Gear change in 5 minutes. You can go from 240, probably around 245 to like 700 ratio.
Just that fast.
That fast, yeah.
It's amazing.
And then a back radiator here, we have our Rally Performance. They're actually fluid coolers that I made into a radiator.
No way.
So there's 4 fluid coolers here. I welded them together, and it's a double pass radiator, and it keeps this thing cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we use the Rally electric fans to help the air
Force air through it.
through. The tail lights here are 2012 Dodge Challenger.
No way. That's great.
Right and the left on each side. I have to finish the seam yet, but I had to cut 2.5 inches off of each one to shorten them down to get it to fit it. But that's a whole nother story actually. So, but going around, then the exhaust and the stainless works really helped us out. They made us some special mufflers and gave us the parts for the exhaust system. Is all stainless steel, and that's pretty much it for what we have. And again, the bed sides come off, which will leave this back panel alone if I choose to drive or display it without the bed sides.
Too incredible, Sean. Thank you for sharing it with us. Where can people find your builds? Where can they find more information if they want to try to pay you $10 million to make one of these?
Yeah. One of One Customs. We're on Instagram, as you can see on the back window, just like that one, ONE Customs. We're on Facebook, Instagram, so you have that. My parent company is Metal Shop Designs. We're on same thing, Facebook, Instagram, and then Sean Puz, P-U-Z, online. So we do it all with that and go from there. I'm not a super tech savvy guy. Yeah, my daughter does a lot of the media, but that's where we're at for now.
I think you got enough skills.
We're still working on me. Keep in touch, keep posted, because there's more to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Let me say thanks to Sean and to his wife Donna once more. They were incredibly humble. They spent tons of time with us, showed us even more than I could show you here in the video. Just 2 incredible people with tons of real passion and way more skill in their pinky fingers than I have in my whole body. So thank you again to them. And my buddy Tom, who helped film a ton of the stuff that you've seen from L'Automobile 2021. If you've enjoyed this type of interview or walkthrough, please check out another one that I've got with Gianluca Maggiore. He's created maybe the best Ferrari resto mod ever, and he's used a classic 308 to do it. Check it out. I'll just stumble over my words if I try to tell you too much. It's just way too much to tell you here. So take a look at that. It's an incredible one-off, but he's making more. So go take a look at that. And thank you for your time. Have a great day.